So for those of you that are wondering where the heck the legendary Iron Man event went in Marvel Strike Force, well, it's because I'm here outside the kiln waiting for Captain Marvel to rescue me. So hopefully she finds me soon and I can return to Marvel Strike Force. But in the meantime, I'm going to answer your questions about Iso-8, the symbiotes, and a lot more, guys, from the Mailbag channel on Discord. And if you're ready for it, find that like button. You know what to do. Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Oh yeah, baby. What is up, Valley Maniacs? I am ValleyFlyin. Welcome to the ValleyFlyin channel. It is Mailbag Monday. Answer your questions from the Discord server. All kinds of questions and yes, all kinds of answers. Now, a little bit of disclaimer. There's still a lot that is not known about Iso-8. There's some weird interactions that aren't working. There's some definitions that we've asked for some clarification for from Scopely and have not gotten anything. But word is later today or tomorrow, there will be a FAQ out, hopefully answering some of these questions, but I'm going to do my best in this video, guys. So let's get right to it and start with your questions. Boom. First one of the day. Hey, Valley, I don't have any plan to pull Fantastic Four off of War offense, but what do you think about adding She-Hulk to the Young Avengers on War defense? Now, obviously, for that Young Avengers squad, the best, if you're trying to pick a fifth for that squad, is going to be a Hero Brawler, because that is the old Hero Brawler team, and they still have a lot of synergy with the Hero Brawlers. But if you're not planning to use She-Hulk on the Fantastic Four, no place for her. Instead of her being a homeless toon, yeah, I guess she could help the Young Avengers on War defense. But I'm seeing reports of some people wanting to actually keep them on offense, using She-Hulk even on offense team and pulling one of the other members of the Fantastic Four. I think there's going to be a lot more theory crafting that needs, or some more gameplay that needs to be done on that, not just theory crafting, but we will have to see. Next question. Doc Ock's passive heals adjacent allies when he blocks. Wondering which Sinister Six teammates would be the best to have him next to. So a couple theories of thought here. My first initial thought was to place him next to these chargeable characters because they're kind of squishy. Swarm's kind of squishy. Electro is kind of squishy. But you also got Rhino in there in that best version of that Sinister Six team, or the best version of the Sinister Six team, which has the two chargeable characters, Doc Ock, Rhino, and then Mysterio. So with that, the tank is Rhino. So some more healing on him. He's having that taunt up. Might not be a bad thing, but my initial response would be to go with two of the chargeable characters. But I guess a lot of it will depend on the power level of your characters and the red stars. Next question. My roster has grown by about 50 characters since the level cap increase. Do you think they will increase our energy so we can build something? I think when the level cap increases to level 80, that is the time that that would be the most likely time for them to increase our daily energy, or our energy that we can hold in our account every now and then. So I guess the max roster the max energy right now is 134. So hopefully when level 80 comes out, it goes up to maybe 144, 154. I don't know, but yeah, hopefully at that time we will get more energy, because yeah, there has been a lot of characters that released since the last level cap. ValleyFlyin, hope you're doing good, man. I've been contemplating for this for a while. Can symbiotes possibly counter the Black Order if you use the right moves, or any hard team to beat? Thanks for answering my question and keep smashing. So I think there can be a lot of the teams. The one problem they're going to have with the Black Order specifically is Cull. Can they get a debuff on Cull soon enough so that they can keep chaining, keep spreading, even when he's taunting? Because if he's taunting and you have no debuffs on him, well, the team's not going to work. They don't really have a way to get off some of these high resistance taunts. And with Cull, you're going to get some resistance from the natural Black Order of their passives and different things. So can they counter the Black Order? I am not sure. I think we would have to see some playtesting when Anti-Venom actually comes to the game. But my initial thoughts, probably not. But there are going to be a lot of other teams that they can counter. One of the weaknesses of the Symbiote team is exposed by the Black Order, and that is a tank that has a high resistant taunt. And his Cull's is not as bad as someone like Colossus or unempowered Thanos or Juggernaut, but it's still going to be tough for them to get around, is my thoughts. But like a lot of these questions here, we will have to see. Wait till this character is released in the game so we get some actual gameplay testing of this. Next question, excuse me. Is Shuri's basic for 2-turn heal immunity, worth doing just for the Iron Fist node in Dark Dimension 3. If you are struggling with that node, it may be worth just that T4 investment just for that. If you don't want to spend the T4, I mean, maybe you could use a different character with a heal block on there if you have them up to gear 14, or just writing into support. Hopefully they could reset that node for you so you can kill one Iron Fist before he comes out. I'm actually on that node right now for my second DD3 run. Iron Fist, you got Shuris, you got Phoenixes. I think once those 3 characters are done or you have dealt with them, that node becomes very easy, but Iron Fist is very, very tough. It might be worth it, but hopefully you have enough other characters, not just Phoenix, not just Colossus, that you can take some of the pressure off of them and really start working on those Iron Fists. But if you need it, I think, and you plan to use it later, and Shuri is getting enough value for you, not value, enough usage for you in other game modes, ladies and gentlemen, then it possibly is. But outside of that, it's a pretty weak T4. So how much value do you place on DD3 on that specific node? That's going to be the requirement for the answer. All right, Franken Combat. Hope you're doing well. Keep up with all the good content. My question is about my arena team. Usually around 200 in the arena at the moment. My team is Phoenix, Ultron, Falcon, Groot, and Rocket. Should I replace Falcon with Black Bolt? Maybe replacing Rocket and Groot with some characters. I like Falcon, I like Ultron, I like Phoenix. I think Black Bolt, maybe Ebony Maw and Black Bolt, or maybe Ebony Maw and Thanos, like you mentioned. But yeah, Groot, Rocket, I think you can. They're out of the meta, so you can replace them. But Phoenix, Ultron, Falcon still relevant even in today's meta in the arena meta. Yeah, in the arena mode. All right, next question. ValleyFlyin, good day. How will summons be affected by Iso-8? Will a class for Phoenix be valid until she dies, or Dark Phoenix get a class buff as well? Will Hela's class affect Greg? No. So they don't get any class bonuses. The summons clones, they don't get any class bonuses. They get stat bonuses though. So Phoenix is not a very good character to invest heavily with your Iso-8, because Dark Phoenix does not get any of those class bonuses. So keep that in mind. They do get the stat bonuses, which are kind of minor, but anything within the class, they're not going to get that bonus. So on level 2, I think all of them have extra health. I don't think the Dark Phoenix is getting any of those health. So keep that in mind. If you look at the recommendations from that Iso-8 guide that Remedex put out, not recommending going past level 1 for Phoenix, brothers. Next question. Viper 1987. I've been watching your videos since I first started about 6 months ago. Love your channel. Decided to finally ask a question. Now that the 2 symbiote kits have been revealed, who would you prioritize investing in Dark Dimension 3? The original 3 are gear 13, but once I saw Anti-Venom, I think he might be important. Maybe Symbiote Spider-Man, Anti-Venom, and Carnage. So actually for that, Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage are still my top 2 picks. Anti-Venom, Scream are both better than Venom, so you could go either of those before that. I have not tried either of them in Dark Dimension 3, so I don't have any first-hand knowledge, but I like Scream's kit. I like Anti-Venom's kit. I think Anti-Venom might give you that survivability for that node, because, you know, you're going to need to survive a lot, especially with that revive if one of the characters accidentally dies. So I think Anti-Venom is going to be a little more valuable. But Scream, not that far behind him, but both of them are ahead of Venom. And last question, do you think that Gambit Rogue will come in November now that the Symbiotes and She-Hulk are confirmed for October? I think it is likely Gambit, especially for the last Facebook clue that we saw. Looked like Gambit, Kitty Pryde, and Iceman seem to be the ones that were rumored from that Facebook post. But again, there were rumors. We didn't get Gamro, an agent, in this patch, so who knows what the results of all these Facebook posts are. Hey, Valley, who do you think needs more red stars, Scream or Anti-Venom? Anti-Venom seems better, but I am unsure. So I think actually Anti-Venom is the way to go here, because there's a healer. He's gonna, all the heals that he has is gonna be based on his health, so that is gonna be affected by red stars. So I would go Anti-Venom without actually playing him, but yes, Scream is not bad either. I wouldn't be mad if I got a lot of red stars on Scream. Hey, ValleyFlyin, I'm using Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, Venom, Vulture, Doc Ock in DD3. What's the best Iso-8 combination for these 5 together, specifically in Dark Dimension 3? So this is one, I have not tested out this team, so firsthand, I am not sure. But looking at that Iso-8 Remedex recommendation guide. These are who they're recommending for these characters at level 1, 3, and 5. So for Symbiote Spider-Man, they're recommending the Raider class. For Carnage, the Skirmisher class. Venom, so Striker is their recommendation for all 3 classes. Vulture gets the recommendation as Raider in all of those classes, and Doc Ock as the healer. So try those. Those are the initial guesses, or the initial best classes for those characters based on the initial play testing. So that may change once we get a little more information on these characters, but that is what a lot of the play testers, including Remedex, are going with for that initial class of characters, brother. So hopefully that helps. Let me know how it works out. Next is from Draw. Ooh, I thought it said Drew. All right, since Symbiote Spider-Man did not lead a legendary unlock, would you recommend a newish player to focus on them for your main team? For example, someone that doesn't have any legendary unlock. So if you can get Symbiote Spider-Man, and he's apparently becoming farmable in those orbs, I guess Wednesday. Yeah, if you can get Symbiote Spider-Man, yes, build that team. That is going to be the main team to get. You know, if you're a player that is playing right now, you could get Scream in the event. Anti-Venom looks like he might be a mini Milestone character. So if the big thing right there, if you're playing right now, Symbiote Spider-Man. So if you have his shards, then yes, get him, build him up. This team looks very, very good. There are a few counters to them, but they look to be dominant. And I've been using those 4 symbiotes and Emma in Ultimate 7. Pretty good, guys. Pretty good results. All right, next question. How are you doing, brother? I got a few questions about Iso-8. Wondering if you know more about these. Vulnerable debuffs gives 10% extra damage taken. The Raider class can stack these up to 3 times. Does this mean they get 30% extra damage taken? Or are they stacked at 3 or just 10%? My guess would be stacking, because some of the bonuses from Iso-8 stay stackable, but I think we're gonna get more clarification on this when the devs put out that FAQ. This is something I'm wondering myself. Another question, or from the same thread, healer class says percent active healing. I would presume that regens are not active healing. I think that regens are not. I think you're correct in your assumption. Are drains by certain passive abilities active healing? Symbiote Spider-Man passive, Phoenix lifesteal, Maul lifesteal. I would think that the passives are not considered active healing because they're from a passive, and the ones that are from a skill, I think most of them would be considered active healing, but I am not sure if this is consistent across the board amongst all characters, guys. So again, this is one I think we would have to wait for the devlog just to get more confirmation on it. I have not seen too much on this in playtesting to confirm this myself, but if you guys have and know the answer to this, let me know in the comments, because I'm still getting to know a lot of this Iso-8 stuff. Does the healer's active healing bypass heal block? I would assume not. I don't think it would bypass heal block, but again, if you have evidence that is different than what I think, then let me know in the comments, guys. Valley, I'm a free-to-play player, just completed Dark Dimension 3 first run. Congratulations, brother. I'm looking to get Scream for free, and I want as many gold stars on her as possible. I have about 6,000 core, never ever refreshed campaign nodes or character campaign energy. What's the most efficient use of cores to maximize the shards collected? So if you were to do that right now, the only way you could get Scream is with that orb. That's like 500 cores in there, and I think the minimum you could get on Scream is 2 shards. The maximum is like 24 shards or something like that. Right now, because the event is not active as I'm recording, that's the only way to get Scream shards. So that would be the best use of your cores. But in a couple days, when the event comes around, what I would do is definitely do all of the 50 refreshes for the Scream campaign. I don't think that the amount of shards for those orbs that you get is random. I think it's set. So just do all of them, and then you may want to dip into those 100 core refreshes as well. I think Scream is a valuable enough character that can justify that, especially if you have a decently built Symbiote, Spider-Man, Carnage, and Venom. You will want the 4th of this team. So I would say yes, it is worth definitely refreshing the 50s. The 100s, with your surplus that you have there, I would say probably. I mean, if I had that much, I would be refreshing the 100s for Scream. Hey, Valley, do you think Thanos should use a different Iso-8 class with Black Order empowered and without them? I mean, thematically, it makes sense because he's not that great of a protector in it as the empowered Thanos. So, but here's my thoughts. I think it would be too complicated, too too buggy. I think there'd be so many bugs, and there's so much confusion right now with Iso-8. Having 2 different classes of character per character, or 2 different classes per character, might be a little confusing. So as much as it would be fitting, I think you just got to do it manually every time you use Thanos either empowered state or unempowered state. Valley, greetings from Germany. What is up, brother? Kind of screwed up now that I have 2 Iron Fists on DD3, the Node 7. Should I keep trying Colossus and Phoenix with basic maxed out? All right, so this is one that has that basic that we were talking about earlier, guys, with the heal block or contact support for a restart. So with 3 characters, I would say it's going to be kind of hard. Colossus, Phoenix, and Shuri. Eventually, you could go do it, especially if you're using that Shuri basic to heal block Iron Fist so that they can't. I think eventually it can be done. I would try it maybe a couple more days if it's still struggling and you're not making any progress. Like Iron Fist's heals are doing more healing than your Dark Phoenix's special does on a daily basis, especially with a heal block from Shuri. Then yeah, contact them, and if you can, get another character in. Emma makes that a lot easier if you have her unlocked. Shuri is a good one that you picked. Ultron is another one, not specifically for Dark Dimension 3, because he's not really that great in Dark Dimension 3, but I'm getting so much use outside of Dark Dimension 3 with Ultron that I do not recommend, that I don't regret any of the orange pieces that I put on him, because he's kind of expensive for orange pieces. So Ultron is another character, so I would keep trying a couple more days, and if it's too tough, contact support, and if it's still too tough after you're going again, then maybe get another character up. Valley, where can I find a good alliance? Discord, brother. I recommend checking out the link to Discord. It is in the description. That is also where you can leave mailbag questions if you want a question potentially featured on an upcoming mailbag episode. But go to Discord. There's a place that alliance leaders can recruit for their alliance, and there are places that alliance members that are looking for a new alliance can post their screenshots, and hopefully someone could scoop you up into their good alliance. But that is where I start. There's also Discord channels, the main MSF. There's a bunch of other MSF Discord channels, so you could try there, but start with mine. And if you can't find anybody good there, then you can move on to some of the other ones, guys. Grimmy says, thanks, the training materials scarcity is worrying. What do you recommend saving for new characters or level 80? Thanks, brother. So there's certain teams that I want to get up to level 75 right now that I want to gear 14. Those teams, certain characters, both of them are the same team. Anti-Venom and Scream, those are the characters that I want to get up to level 75, get up to gear tier 14 as soon as I have. Now, Scream's done, Anti-Venom not in the game yet. That is what I was saving for. Everyone else, I'm kind of holding off to see what's going to happen with Dark Dimension 4. I don't know if we know the official requirements, but I'm thinking you need to get to level 80, you need to get up to gear 15, and maybe something with ISO. I'm not sure, but save as much as you can. If you're not sure, it's always good to save, but there are certain characters, if you're using them a lot, getting enough usage from them, that you can't justify building them up right now. Spiderwing says, how do I like mix-up teams? How do I mix up teams? Because I've been doing that and no good at. So can you give me suggestions of how to mix up teams? There you go. Let's go smash it. So a lot of times when I'm mixing up teams, it's because I don't have a proper fit. A lot of the newer teams that these devs are releasing into the game are complete 5-man teams, like the Inhumans, like X-Force, even AIM. There's a few members that you could choose from, but you can make a 5-man team with that. Now, if you're looking to make some hybrid teams, I just suggest looking at what the team you want to build is missing. So if we were looking at Symbiotes right now, without Anti-Venom, they don't have a real healer. They don't have a way to resurrect. They don't have a way to really get some debuffs off the enemies. Oh, they do, but they don't have a way to really heal themselves and get the debuffs off them. So that's what I would be looking for with the Symbiotes, and any kind of fifth or hybrid team that you're looking to make. Look what that team is missing and see if there's a character that you pull off another team, or that is even better. If you could pull a homeless character and put them onto a team, make them useful and make a team useful, that is even better. But I would start with that. Just look for the weaknesses of whatever team you're trying to build, brother. Valley, 3-point questions. How does Iso-8 Raider interact with Minerva Ebony Ultimate? So I think, and I've seen this, I think that they can apply the targeted to characters with the Ebony Maw Ultimate and with the Minerva Ultimate. I don't have confirmation on that, but I think they will apply that. I know that Ebony's Maw Special does apply the targeted sometimes as well. Cull's counter doesn't apply Skirmisher mark if counters are in the description. So the thing is, the Cull counter, I was confused that a little as well. I talked about this with OMG while we were making that video. One of the T4s that I upgraded was that Cull basic because I thought that with the basic, every time he counterattacks, his damage goes up. So I thought it was a good one. But apparently in his passive, it's listed a little differently. So that basic doesn't really affect his counterattacks because it's not a true counterattack. It's a passive acting. So that's Cull's a little weird. So maybe hopefully we will get some clarification when that FAQ comes out from the devs. How does Fortifier Barrier interact with Ebony's Shield? So Ebony's Shield, not sure. I think it just gives more shield if you're getting a shield from Ebony, but if he's trying to drain you with his ultimate and you have a shield, I think it just goes through that shield and just goes to your health, not worry about the shield at all. So I think that's what you're asking, and there's some questions that I don't know the answer to, but I hope that helps, brother. Next question. It's a long one. Greetings from Singapore. Hope you and your family are doing fine. Same to you, brother. First question, I've entered Dark Dimension 1 with my Guardians, minus Starlet. It's a bit slow now. I don't have Mantis Gamora geared up as much. Question, I was planning to replace Mantis Morto as I'm currently farming him, but 100 shards short away. Is it a good choice, or should I bite the bullet and keep gearing up Mantis? So I think at some point you eventually would want to build up Mantis. I think she's a good backup healer. She's not one of my main healers now, and she's kind of on a backup Guardian team. So I don't know if you want to invest too much in her, but definitely with the stars, I do see some value in the stars. So now with this Dark Dimension 1, the way I build my characters was I'm just going to build my characters. I don't think the rewards are that great. So I just built up my characters. And once I got them to 6 stars, I would start to take them in. So that's it for Dark Dimension 1. I don't know if that helps too much, but yeah, I just was building my roster naturally. Dark Dimension 2 has a very good reward that I think is halting all progress and going towards that. But Dark Dimension 1, the rewards is some orange gear. I don't know if that's super necessary right now, but question, I'm starting to plan to long-term for Dark Dimension 3. Here's what we're talking about, brother. So before the 2 new symbiotes are released, the priority characters for City, Dark Dimension 3 was Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, and then Venom with Scream AV being in the game now. Where do they fall on the priority list before Dark Dimension 3? So I would rate them Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage. I would rate Anti-Venom 3rd without actually play testing him, but just based on his kit, I think would be 3rd, and Scream would be 4th. 5th would be Venom, and this is assuming you got all the bio gear you need for these characters. And then Ghost Rider still gonna be my 6th after you've done all the symbiotes. That's my first one after the symbiote. So that is the priority that I would put on those characters, guys. Hey Valley, I'm needing some help on ability enhancements 12. What is the best team to use? I have decently high controller and protectors, but can't get 3 stars. So this one's going to be roster dependent because a lot of it's going to be based on the power of your roster. But when I was looking at the controllers, there are 3 characters that really stood out to me as far as giving you protection, giving you some value on nodes. Hela, Loki, Mordo. I think if you have those characters built up pretty good, you would just slot in a very strong 5th or a 4th and 5th to that team, depending on what protectors you have, what other controllers you have. But I would start with those because Hela, she has Greg and hopefully taking some pressure off the team. Loki has that stealth and Mordo has a stun heal block. So those are who I would look at first. But like I said, this is going to be roster dependent. See who you already have built up. Our next question, what are your recommendations for best 2 to 3 in class for Iso-8? Best Raider Skirmisher. I'm fairly end game personally. So some of this I'm going to look towards the recommendations from Reminix because he's been doing a lot more research than me. As far as what they're recommending as far as Striker, Venom, Black Bolt, and Corvus are their top 3 picks. Skirmisher, their top 3 picks are going to be Carnage, Maw, and Proxima. And I pretty much agree because Black Order and the symbiotes are my top priority. And then Black Bolt and some random characters are also very important. The Fortifier, now this is where I differ. I'm using my Fortifier on my tanks. They don't really recommend a lot of Fortifiers. Their top Fortifier that they're recommending is Domino. But I'm very happy with Colossus and Strife right now. Let's talk about healer. Their top healer that they're recommending is Minerva, but they're also recommending Doc Ock and Colossus, who I'm using the Fortifier on, but I like to use healers with healers. I'm not sure if that's the best thing. And then the Raiders, their top Raiders in the class are going to be Hela, Symbiote Spider-Man, and Thanos. Obviously, all of this is really preliminary and things are going to change, and it's going to change based on who you're facing and what combinations of teams you have in and red stars and how big you have these characters and gold stars and all that. But that is what the initial tests are, and then with some of my own with that fortifier. But their top fortifier is Domino. All right, Valley. So reading through the blog post, they said Symbiote Spider-Man with the last character added to the Milestone orbs. For those of us with a huge stockpile, Milestone orbs, and close to finishing off Symbiote Spider-Man, should we just keep opening them once we max out Symbiote Spider-Man? No. You should save them. Hopefully one day Emma will come to these Milestone orbs, and you could get some Milestone orbs and get some Emma shards in there. But yeah, once you're done with Symbiote Spider-Man, there's no real reason to open them unless you're short on some of the other resources in there. Sometimes I open those Milestone orbs for the training orbs to get some fragments for that. So unless you're in some weird situation like I was for those training mats, then just save them. Don't open them if you finish off Symbiote Spider-Man. Not sure how to interpret the blog post. Sounds like they may be removing the current version of the Milestone orb, similar to what they did. So it does sound like that. It sounds like they're going to do that later though, and I think there would be an announcement. But yes, before that happens, once we get the announcement, and if you already have your Symbiote Spider-Man, then open those, and then we'll get some new ones maybe. But yeah, until then, until we get that announcement of that, don't open any after Symbiote Spider-Man, brother. ValleyFlyin, who benefits from red stars more? Should I bring Symbiote Spider-Man or Carnage to red stars, 5 red stars first? I like Symbiote Spider-Man first. There is an argument to be made for Carnage, but my personal opinion is Symbiote Spider-Man, brother. Eddie is ready. ValleyFlyin with Anti-Venom most likely getting a milestone release at the end of October. Can we expect the Emma Frost milestones return sometime after the event ends? So yeah, I'm thinking Anti-Venom will be one of those mini milestone characters, kind of like Namor was, like Negasonic was, those type of mini milestones, and then the big milestone characters like Symbiote Spider-Man and Emma. I think that will return once that is done. Holecat from Amarillo. Hope all is well is wondering which X-Men team would be the best. I'll be unlocking Phoenix this time. The 6-star Storm, wondering if she would benefit or should go another route. So there's a couple different thoughts, and I think the best version of that X-Men team has Phoenix, has Colossus, and has Cyclops. And you could kind of argue on those last two. I've seen a lot of good results, as not personally, but screenshots of good results with Beast as the 5th, and then rotating either Cyclops or Storm as the 5th. So I think that is the best team, just a non-Wolverine team, I guess. But this was before Iso-8 came out. So maybe he's a little better with Iso-8, but I think Phoenix, Colossus, Cyclops, Beast, and then since you have a really good red stars on your Storm might be the way to go, brother. All right, Howdy from North Carolina. Been playing since launch, got my first 7 red star on the thing. With She-Hulk coming out, should I invest hard in this team for war defense or even invest in Namor instead? I have a ball or war offense team. Thanks in advance. So it is going to be up to you. I'm still not sure how I'm going to use my Fantastic Four team. I may just, I may skip She-Hulk, honestly, which is disappointing because she is a Gamma Hulk type character, but I'm not very excited about war defense, especially when I'm taking a team that is very solid on war offense, moving into war defense. So there's been some theory crafting, maybe taking out Thing, putting She-Hulk on that team, using them in offense. I see someone in comments. I haven't really thought about the turn order on that, but it sounded pretty good. But with a 7 red star Thing, maybe leaving them on defense, and moving Namor to another offensive team. But that thing is going to be really, really good on that. And that's going to make sure that he is the top damage character, top health character. So hopefully when Invisible Woman does her specials, he is the one that's going to be counterattacking all the time and getting an additional counterattack if he has that barrier from Invisible Woman. But a couple different options. It's hard to say at this time, but I'm probably going to leave them on offense for a little while just because I've invested so much in them, and I'm probably not going to invest too much in She-Hulk for a little bit. Hey, Valley, have you noticed the requirements for Gear 15 on MSF.GG, including the new mini uniques? We'll be covering this in a video or waiting for a proper release. So again, all this stuff is data mined right now. We don't know all the official information for these Gear 15. Some things are the same. A lot of things are the same. What is data mined and what actually comes to the game, but there are some things that are different. So I'm going to be waiting before I give any recommendations or things on this because it could change. It could change by the time it finally comes to the game. Greetings, ValleyFlyin. It's been a while. My DD2 team is nearly ready. Iso-8 has made this team deadly. Plan to use Minerva, Black Bolt, Thanos, Groot, and Rocket. This team has a lot of AoE plus Black Bolt kills. off any enemies that barely survive. So will Minerva's passive go off every time. Are there any good characters you would recommend? If so, who would you swap out on my team? If you want, you can swap out Rocket and Groot. If you have Ebony Maw in there, that's another character that's doing percentage-based damage. So if you have Ebony Maw, bring him in. Star-Lord is also good because more energy for Minerva. Thanos is that to give energy as well. Star-Lord will do that as well. Black Bolt is a good character. I don't know if you want to miss, but Groot and Rocket, the damage is not going to be that great from Groot. The best thing about, the damage is not that great from Rocket because they have a high health pool. So I think I'd rather bring in some other characters. If you want to replace somebody, you can take out Rocket and Groot. Groot is a kind of a off tank. He has a taunt when Rocket does his special. He has a death proof, defense up, so it's not the worst. You should get through Dark Dimension 2 with this team. I'm just trying to think of some characters that will be quicker, but this team will get through. It's probably better than the team that I used on my initial run for this team. Valley, did you know this color of Iso-8 icons and skill were all green? Do you think Iso-8 will be upgraded into blue, purple, gold in the future? I hope it's color coded and it's something that makes sense. It's very easy to see. Will that be happening? I don't know. I mean, they seem to have those colors: blue, gold, purple, as far as ratings for these things like the gear and the different pieces that you would need, even for the, I don't know about Iso-8, but different things have different levels. So maybe have level 1, there's a certain color, level 2, different colors. I don't know. I would like to see some kind of differentiation in the color because right now I'm getting a bunch of stuff. I'm like, what did I get? I don't know. I'm going to have to go into my roster screen and see which characters I can upgrade because yeah, there's those little tiny icons, but when you get a bunch and you're opening a bunch of orbs, it's just hard to tell what you're getting. All right, Ginger S. Fist Bump Valley. Here's a question for you on ISO. I know that the bonus basic attack on a striker is vulnerable targets sometimes affect Black Bolt's Emma's basic. Positive effects will remove or negative effects can be applied. But what about a basic that calls an assist like Mr. Sinners? Because if that works, it's kind of broken, don't you think? So there's some weirdness going on with a bonus attack right now. Hopefully there will be some clarity. But yeah, it's looking like the person that's supposed to be applying the target, the targeted is not doing that in the right order. So there's some weirdness going on, especially with Miss Marvel. But hopefully that is a bug gets cleared up. Or hopefully there's more clarification on how this stuff is working in the back end when that FAQ comes out with from the devs. What is up from Cincy? What is up, brother? Hope you and yours are well. I keep hearing rumors about Anti-Venom being a milestone release character. Couldn't that also be a milestone release like Cyclops and Negasonic? We haven't had one for a while since last time we got Ghost Rider that way. Well, we did get Negasonic that way. We've had Cyclops that way, Namor. We've had a few mini milestone characters, and I think from what the data mines are telling us, Anti-Venom is going to be one of those mini milestone characters, and then very, very quite possibly Emma returning after that as one of these larger milestone characters. But again, just data mine, and even the data mines are not super clear. So we'll have to see. Wait till we get either a more definitive data mine or some confirmation from the devs, because I think She-Hulk was rumored to, or data mine to be an event character, but Scream that got that node. So again, we're gonna see. Question about strikers and raiders from Portland, Oregon. What's up, brother? I tried researches, but haven't found an answer anywhere. Ooh, I hope I can have an answer here. Currently, one of the best synergies of Iso-8 is a skirmisher assisting a striker. Okay, so this is that bug that we were talking about because it's not working correctly. Striker attacks a target, skirmisher assists, applies vulnerable, striker then gets their bonus attack, clears vulnerable, which is kind of weird. That's kind of how it's working right now in that Miss Marvel weird team. If the striker is assisted by a raider, does this happen? Striker assists target, raider assists, crit applies vulnerable, striker gets their ISO bonus attack, clears vulnerable. I don't think it works like that for the raider. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be working like that for the striker, but I guess we'll get more clarity in the blog because, like I said, there's some weirdness going on with Iso-8, not consistency across the board with everything. So yeah, I want more clarity, brother, on this before I give you the wrong answer. Longtime viewer, player of the game. I remember when the best team was Captain America, Black Widow, Quake, Yondu, and Night Nurse. That was for U5. Yeah, that was a very good team back in the day, and you've been playing for a while if you remember that team. I came back from a lengthy hiatus from the game, stopped playing around February this year. Super far behind on everything besides a few subjects. Don't need a super detailed answer, just a synopsis is fine. What are the best teams for the most important areas of the game? So there's a couple teams that dominate most areas of the game. If you have a good Black Order and a good Symbiote, I think you're going to be dominant in pretty much every area of the game. except for War, which you're going to need a lot of teams, and Blitz, you're going to need a lot of teams. But if you're talking about War, Raids, even Arena, Black Order is the way to go, and then Symbiotes. Those are the 2 teams I would invest in. I know Black Order might be hard for you if you stopped playing February and recently came back. So Cull, Proxima, and Corvus is going to be very hard to farm. But if you can't farm them, Symbiotes would be the way to go. If you can't get them, maybe keep working on the X-Men. X-Force is another good team for War defense, or War offense, excuse me. It really depends what your focus is. I would focus on one game mode at a time. For me, my top priority is Arena. So if you're looking to go with that, focus on Arena team, then focus on your Raid team. And there's an argument that you focus on your top Raid team before your Arena team because you're getting rewards all the time with that. But Raider Arena is where you should go first. Focus on that team, then start building up some other teams. So it would depend where you're at, but if you can, Black Order Symbiotes is what I would go for. Hey, Valley, I've been wondering about Iso-8 and X-Men. Which do you recommend for them? Pretty sure Colossus is a locket healer, but not sure about Cyclops, Storm, and Beast. Want to thank you for your advice on Twitch. Finished my first DD2 run in less than a week. Keep up the outstanding work. Hulk fist bump. Yes, brother. All right, so Colossus, the general consensus is healer. Like I said, I have mine as a fortifier. I did that kind of for Dark Dimension 3, maybe moving him back to healer after I'm done with that. But you don't mention Phoenix, but yeah, their recommendation, level 1, don't move her past level 1 because Dark Phoenix does not get any of those class bonuses that Phoenix does. So once Phoenix is dead, those class bonuses go away. So Phoenix, I know you didn't mention her, but don't take her past level 1. And Skirmisher seems to be the best for her. Cyclops, the general consensus with Remenex and the rest of his group is Striker for Cyclops. Storm, they're having her as a Skirmisher. And I've seen Beast as a good healer, but their recommendation across all levels is Striker for Beast. So those are the recommendations, at least the early recommendation of Remenex. And if you want to look at that spreadsheet that I've been talking about, look in the description. You can see it there. That list has always changed. So some of these recommendations I'm recommending from his list, they may change. It's being updated constantly as more and more information comes in, brother. ValleyFlyin, last week I got 6 red star on screen. Would like to take her to at least 4 red stars with the event. Got her at 2 red stars. Wondering if you could make a video explain that you use to maximize the shards collect on campaign events. All right, real simple, brother. Use at least your 50 refreshes. Do those nodes every single day. Open your orbs. And for Scream, because this is such a good character and important part of a team, you may want to do those 100 refreshes. But that's it. There's not enough for a whole video. Just do that, brother. Hey, Valley. Oh, there's the question. I have 4 red stars on all of the course 4 symbiotes. Which do you think is most worthy spending 150 credits on to upgrade to 5 red star? I still am going to think it's going to be Symbiote Spider-Man. Of course, I have not tested all of these guys, Anti-Venom and everyone, but my top pick is going to be Symbiote Spider-Man for that red stars. ValleyFlyin, why are you being kind of sus? Ooh, I think it's because that was the imposter a few times playing Among Us this weekend with everybody. Hopefully you guys stopped by the stream for that, but it was fun. Maybe putting up a video later with some highlights of that. Let me know if you guys are interested in some Among Us videos on this channel because yeah, I had fun, but that is why I'm being very sus, brother. Greetings from Hamburg, Germany. I hear all people saying all the time, gear level up Black Order, but this does really make sense when I have 3 out of them and only have 4 star. No, it does not. It only makes sense if you have full Black Order team because you're not gonna have empowered Thanos without the full Black Order team. So only build them up if you have all 5 members. If you don't have all 5 members, you could build them for some random teams. Like Ebony Maw works on a random team. Thanos, I still use on my raid team, just Thanos and Ebony Maw. So you may want to build that, but I wouldn't go too crazy on the whole entire team unless you have all of them, brother. Greetings from DC. Have a mid-late game player going through my second DD3 run. Want to go through DD2 again for the kicks. What's a good team heal and sustain that can run through DD2 without refreshes and finishes? So I just did this. Coincidentally, I just did this yesterday. I wanted to get that little extra icon around my image, and then I wish I did more blitzing because I didn't finish in the top 1%. So should have done blitzing instead of this. But the team that I used, Ultron, Black Bolt, Thanos, Maw, and Minerva. And and I placed Thanos between Maw and Minerva, and the rest of them don't matter. Auto the whole thing was about 5 minutes per run. I think the whole run took me about 3 hours or so because I was doing other things. I would auto one node and go through this, but yeah, you could auto with those characters, especially if you're done your first run through DD3. Your characters are strong enough to do that. Hello, Valley. I am 10 short on Hela, being 6 stars. 276 short on Hana Assassin, but Mordo, Nobu, Ronan, Loki, already. I get 5 unlocked in characters, but RNG has not been kind unto Hella Node. If I miss Hella because of Scopely, I will absolutely flip, not spending $30 on offer again. Just asking you and everyone to send happy thoughts. All right, happy thoughts your way, brother. But her double drop may have ended, but you still have, I think there's 3 days that the Phoenix event is going to go on. So if you're only 10 short, you should be good, brother, on that. So I'm wishing you a lot of luck and a lot of love from the Valley Club and the Valley Flam, guys. All right, great one is it's time to make defenders great again. Is it really? I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if they made it, but I don't know if I would be pushing for this against some other teams, but this would be fun, especially if you're a fan of the Netflix series like I am. To me, the most logical course of action would be to create a sunset under them, calling them heroes for hire, which include JJ, Fist, Colleen Wing. That would be a cool character to come to the game. Misty Knight, that would be another one. They both, I think, Misty Knight came to Future Fight when I was playing. Colleen Wing did not while I was playing. I'm not sure if she's added since then. Reworked Elektra to have synergy with Daredevil and Hellcat, Trish Walker from the JJ Netflix show. Make Claire finally a legendary unlock. Well, I think Claire Temple was supposed to be Night Nurse, and then they just combined the two characters. A stronger version of Minerva. I would like this. I think I would like this. Again, when we're talking about some of these teams, there's some other teams, some other characters that I'd like to see before this, but I would definitely be happy, especially since I'm a fan of these of the Netflix shows, guys. Woo, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all of your questions. I want to thank each and every one of you that submitted a question on the Discord server on that channel. Whether it got answered or not, I do appreciate you leaving the question. I think I answered all of them this week, unless there were some that I couldn't answer. And hopefully that blog post will clear up some of the questions that I did not answer this week, guys. So I will see you guys next time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, all the usual stuff, guys, all of that. So, and I will see you guys next time. Give me a Hulk fist bump before you go. Check me out on social media and check me out every single morning, every weekday morning on Twitch, guys. So I will see you then. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, out.